Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrills of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat."
You ready?
Yeah,
We're back.
we're back.
DBR podcast. 7 months, 2 days. What do you think?
That's great.
I think we should start off with something.
Hold
Something very, very important.
What's that?
What we just talked about when I was fixing your microphone.
What?
You said, "Do my armpit smell?"
Oh, ew.
I think we should tell everybody about the time that I caught you smelling your armpits in Lowe's.
Oh, well, you told me must have given me a hug or something, like
Yeah,
the day
you
before or
stunk.
something, and
You
you said I
stunk.
smelled.
Yeah.
So it made me all self-conscious.
So
Because I had just got out of the shower, I feel like, that
I
time.
couldn't believe my wife smelled as badly as she did.
So I couldn't tell if you were fucking with me or being
No.
lying.
No.
I didn't even know. So I walked, I was like, all right, I gotta get some paper towel and like some cleaning supplies. And I made sure that nobody was around me. And then I
Yeah.
went to stick my armpit. I looked to my left and you were standing there.
Yeah.
Literally
Sniffing-
stare- yeah.
I saw you sniffing your armpits.
Caught
Caught red-handed.
red-handed.
Well, this is great. 7 months, 2 days. A lot have happened in the past 7 months. Well, one of those months I was in rehab, but life's pretty good. What do you think?
It's great so far. I have no complaints really.
Well, what have the 7 months been like for you? I mean, I know you still have issues with trust and what happened with us last year, but what has these 7 months been like for you?
I feel like overall really good. I feel like our life is good. We have a good routine. I can tell you have really, really made a change.
I'm not gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do and freak out.
That's what it is. That's I'd say my main thing has always been like the smallest things you would explode. And I still sometimes like, you know, say we get in a fight or something, even if it's small, I still think, is he gonna like freak out?
Well, you get equally as annoyed as me being quiet.
Well, yeah,
I can tell you when to freak out. Well, yeah, but I'm not freaking out.
but then when you're quiet, it depends on what time you're quiet. Are you saying like when we're quiet, if we're walking or taking a walk, or we're out to dinner and you're quiet?
Well, I know you hate when I'm quiet when we're walking and when we're out to dinner, but if we are in a disagreement and I am being quiet, you'll be like, I can tell you when to freak out. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's not fair.
Well, yeah, because it's all I've known.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always been just that.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say like you've really have done a total 360,
180.
180. One of my mechanisms.
That's it.
And I had to say, I know you wanted my mom. We had come down here for Mother's Day for my mom, which was like a ginormous, like that was
a big deal.
That was a
big deal for me.
really, really big deal that my mom, after having our place for a couple years, come down and enjoy, like me, you know, her daughter having a place down the shore. And even my mom was just like, I can tell he's different. I enjoy being around him.
She said that?
Yeah. And she really had a nice time down here, and I'm happy, you know, that she got to come down with us and spend a couple days because it only took 3 summers of having a place down here for her to come down and enjoy the shore.
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, but she always went to work too, so it's always like, oh, I gotta take some clients. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you're not taking not
this
once.
this was a solid 3 nights.
Yeah, she needed it.
And we've never done that, even, I mean, throughout our entire relationship.
No.
We've never spent that much time together. your mother and
No.
I.
I feel like in the beginning though, like, 'cause you've known my mom, we all knew each other beforehand, so I feel like you and my mom already had a relationship before we had a relationship. So, you know, I feel like that was good. And then somewhere in the mix, you know, when you had moved in and it was COVID and things were just a little hectic,
Yeah.
you know, it got a little out of control for a little bit and we couldn't have bought our house at a better time.
Yeah, we got lucky.
But overall, I'd say, yeah. I feel like for my mom to notice it even more than me, because I just am maybe more accepting because you're my husband, but she doesn't need to accept. She doesn't need to like you, really. She can just tolerate you.
We called her on speaker the other night. Like, I'm always going to be second, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
But like, I feel like it's a big stride, and for my mom to notice that, like, you really have made some really good changes, and I'm happy that she can be around you, because obviously I love doing things together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, sobriety looks like so many different things, but like, if we just gave a couple bullets, like, your mom loved me when she thought I was sober. Mm-hmm. She hated me when I was relapsing for the 5 years that I was relapsing. And now I think she likes me again.
Yeah.
I think she loved me the whole time, but now now she likes me.
Yeah, I just feel like you had been a little testy with my mom.
Yeah.
And that's really what, not even the relapsing and the drugs.
I was a dick.
Yeah, you were not nice.
I was a dick.
Like, my mom can same with me. I feel like as long as, you were making changes or trying to make changes, she's accepting as well with that. Just you not being nice to her, and knowing, like, if you're going to, like, maybe you bust my mom's chops a lot. And
I don't do it anymore.
You don't anymore. But, like, I feel like, stop doing that. You know she doesn't like it.
Yeah. 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 So we talked about something on the beach yesterday because, I think I can't predict the future and I can't change anything in the past, but I'm not sure what would have happened if you didn't catch me that day.
Yeah.
Walk me through that, because I can't imagine, like, what that felt like for you, having to wait the amount of time that you did to call me out. But walk me through that experience. What exactly happened, like, before I left, went down the shore, then rehab? What was that 24 to 48 hours like? What happened?
Well, you had, I think we had talked about this a little bit before, but you had told me, probably at the end of September or end of August, I forget, or beginning of September, when you had relapsed again. And because I remember we had spent a couple days down here, and you were like, I've got it this time. And I was like, you better. So I trusted you, same routine, same cycle. Yeah. And thought you were sober, but maybe thought you were a little sketch. And one night I was laying in bed, and I had to order stuff I had a bridal party off Amazon. And because the Amazon's connected to, it's your name, your account, your email. And it never asked me. I mean, I order Amazon all the time. Like, a few times a week, I probably order shit from Amazon.
Yeah.
And this time, it needed a passcode. So I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. You were sleeping. I had to go. I'm like, all right, I'll just grab his phone, grab the passcode. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to rummage through his phone. And I haven't done this in years. I haven't looked through your phone, because maybe I'm going to find something I'm not going to like anyway. But, like, I never felt the need to, like, look through your phone. So anyway, I look through your phone, and I go, your boy Matt that you work with. And I don't even know what made me click on him. So I clicked on Matt, and it said, like, it was like 6:30 in the morning, or like 6 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, I had to run home real quick. I'll be back. And I was like, well, I know he didn't come home. And I knew it right then and there. I knew it, that you were up to something. So I was like, all right, well, he's still sleeping. I went out, clicked your car, because I know you kept shit in your car, because I found stuff before. And I, like, wanted to find something. Like, I want to find something, and I don't, but I wanted to find it this time.
Why?
Like, I don't know.
I guess you probably thought I was getting high.
Yeah, and I just needed to, like,
prove you were right.
Yeah, and, like, just not make me feel like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And I go out and I find it. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. So I go upstairs. You're still sleeping. I'm my phone was plugged in on the floor. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, who do I call? I text my mom, and I said, I found shit again. I can't take this anymore. And my mom's always, her response to everything is, oh boy. everything that's, like, bad habits, she's just like, oh boy. So I'm crying, I was crying, and I'm like, I'm looking over, I'm like, do I wake you up? And then I could either wake you up and you freak out and deny it all. I thought about leaving it downstairs for you to see the bottle, that you would just know, obviously, that I call you. I thought about leaving it in your car.
The first thing I would have checked is if you emptied it.
Yeah. Or leave it in the car for you to see it. So I'm like, okay, well, if I do all that, you know, that's not going to do me any good if he wakes up to it, because he's not going to wake me up that morning. He's going to go to work. And I had a full day, and you were going to probably text me nonstop, and I couldn't go through my day with the texting and stopping my clients to text you and be angry all day and mad all day. So one of my girlfriends was my last appointment. I said, hey, look, is there any way, like, I know I'm asking a lot, if you can please come in early for me. I have like a situation I got to take care of, and I need to be done work by the time Anthony gets home.
Right.
You know, and she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And that's when, you know, obviously I came to you and said, you know, what is this?
That takes a lot of. What made you? That was like 24 hours.
Yeah, I was.
Like,
I was like
crazy.
all day. I was like, oh, I was so mad. I was so mad, but I was so over it all. Like, I just was like, I am gonna present him with this, and if he doesn't want to make a change, then I knew obviously we were done.
Yeah.
And
Well, in my mind, that I'm so thankful that happened.
yeah, because I honestly really don't know like how much longer. I know you had said like you had, oh man, I have the kratom pills in the car. I might as well just get them. And I was like, go get them. And you have, I think 3 bottles. I think you had.
Yeah, they're all different flavors. Or
Yeah.
different like potencies or whatever.
Yeah, and I had made a joke again. Like, I just feel like making jokes make me, I mean, I guess make light of something that's a little bit serious. And I said, well, do you want to keep the bottle? Remember, I said, well, you're gonna take them anyway. You know, at that point, like you said, you didn't want to go to rehab. You didn't want to do inpatient, because I talked to I talked to your sister. I talked to my mom, because I said, what are some of my options? She was like, inpatient. I was like, well, that's great. You know, that's something.
Outpatient.
Outpatient.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I was a mess all morning and just wanted my day to be over because I wanted to tell you. So I actually don't know how I waited that long. Because I feel like Autumn, every time I talk to Autumn, and anytime, like, if I, in the past, like, found something or didn't like something, she's like, get all your facts and then wait. And then kind of like pounce.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, the bottle is the fucking one, the only fact that you needed.
yeah, so I just wait. I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to do it. I didn't think any time would have been beneficial until we actually had time to sit and talk in person. Because, like, okay, waking you up at 9 o'clock at night, that's going to be a nightmare. And then my next day's ruined.
Yeah.
If I leave it, then we're arguing when you're not even home. So
Yeah.
I just had to wait all day. It
That's
sucks.
crazy.
It sucked, but like we said, I don't know if you would have gotten the help that you needed
Oh my
if
God.
I didn't.
Who knows?
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know.
I'm so thankful it happened that way because, well, you had to catch me without a doubt for me to stop.
Well, it's always been that if you think about it.
I mean, you caught me and you threw me out, so I'm just. You might have caught me a week ago, and the past 7 months wouldn't even have started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I got caught a lot, but with months in between. So God, fuck, man. If I had to go through that, because I was in pain every day,
Yeah.
you know. So if I had to go through that for more time, like who knows what the outcome would have been? It's just, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up is we watched True Detective, right? Great show,
Yeah.
right? The season with
Although True
Well-
Detective always gets you, and then it's the season finale, and I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me every time.
Yeah. Well, the first season was the best, but I think
Yeah.
that the second season had Vince Vaughn in it.
Oh yeah.
And he said something, I think it was towards the end of the series or the season. I think he was talking to a kid, and he said there in life, there's a series of before and after events where life is no longer the same as it was before this event happened. And that's a big one for me. Like, you catching me that time is the reason why I think I'm here right now with 7 months and 2 days sober. You know, like at least that's what I think.
Yeah, and I think the will of you like wanting to be sober.
Well, I wanted to be sober the whole fucking time.
Yeah, initially you were like, I'm not doing either, and I was like, all right, well then you chose what you wanted to do.
Yeah. But it's been a great 7 months.
Yeah.
It's been great. Everything as far as sobriety goes is the same, right? I don't make 7 meetings a week, but it's usually 6.
Yeah.
You know, there's been one day a week where we kind of like just pack a bunch of stuff in together, and it's usually like a Sunday or a Saturday, and like I think we've accepted that that's okay. My sponsor said that's okay as well.
I still struggle a little bit.
I love going to meetings, and I
Yeah.
love the routine. Like it's a little sometimes like down the shore, like we got to figure it out. I went yesterday and go today, but I'll go tomorrow, and it'll be easier on the weekends because the gym schedule works out. And we're trying to spend the whole day together, so we're figuring it out. But AA is the priority. Sobriety is the priority, and that hasn't changed. Just the connection that we have now. It's funny we don't have these conversations in our personal life. You know what I mean? We're doing a podcast and we're talking like
it's therapy.
I don't think most people have in-depth conversations with their significant others. I could be wrong.
No, I
could be
mean, unless
wrong.
there's like
you're just going through your day.
Yeah, unless we have an issue or something that we get this deep.
Yeah. But I mean, even like yesterday, we're sitting on the beach. We're on vacation. We're sitting on the beach, and it's a Wednesday, and like no one's around. There's only a couple of people, and like we're just listening to music. Oh, what did we do? We did the gratitude list. That's right. The gratitude list.
We have a lot of things to be thankful for.
Yeah. And what I was thinking was, although when I was drinking and using drugs, like there were things to be grateful for, but nothing. You can't say you're grateful. I personally can't say I'm grateful for anything when I'm getting high. Like, 'cause I'm just like, I want it to fucking stop. I don't want it to stop. Like, but it was great, man. Well, we were grateful for so many things: our health, our marriage, our families.
Mine was that God let me live another day.
Yeah. It was great. Grateful for sobriety. I started changing the way I pray. I pray for the willingness. These are all learned behaviors. I hear guys in the meetings that are legit sober, have been sober for sometimes decades, and so I heard a guy say he prays for the willingness to want to be a part of AA. So I started praying for the willingness to be.
I like that.
Yeah, because you've seen that leave me, that willingness, and that's always ended up in failure.
Yeah, like, I'm fine. But every time you missed a Friday meeting, because you always were like pretty steady. Fridays, Sundays, and like a Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
But Sundays you kind of faded out Sundays. And then Fridays was always a definite, but...
Oh, you mean before?
Yeah, before. But
this
meanwhile, you actually were never going to meetings on Fridays. You said you were sitting in Franklin Mills parking lot playing games or something.
Playing blackjack.
Mm-hmm. Probably spending money, just fuck it, who cares?
Killing an hour.
Yeah, and then if you missed a meeting without, I don't know if maybe I was done work early. I think there was a couple times we were at the gym and you're like, yeah, let's just get pizza with your dad because I was at the time.
Yeah.
Last year I made it a point every Friday that I was going to do pizza with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I swore I was never going to break it, which I'd like to get back into that because it was, my dad looked forward to it. I looked forward to it. We used to bring, Frankie and Tuck, and that was like our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, my dad just kind of like just floats to his own boat. You know what I mean? Just
something like that.
I know you say that's what do you say? What is it?
I think it's plays to his own beat or...
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's
everybody knows what you mean.
Yeah, my terms, I guess.
Yeah.
And there was 2 Fridays. One of them was you missed,
mm-hmm.
and then you told me later that you relapsed,
mm-hmm.
and then you were sober again, and then you were like, oh, come on, I just want to go, pizza with your dad. And I actually think we had time to spare until my dad was going to pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
So we took a walk. Do you remember this? We took a walk.
No.
And we were talking about houses, like something that should not start a fight, like buying another property. I'm like, dude, like we can't buy another property. Mm-hmm. And then you were saying how we could, and I'm arguing with you how we can't. Not even arguing. We just are like how we are now. Mm-hmm. And you were so mad. Do you remember you turned around?
I do.
Yeah, you turned around, and I was like, I can't believe this is my life. I can't even. I was so. There was times in our relationship where I thought like, how am I with him? Like, how is this my life? Like, I couldn't even have a conversation about something so small without you, like a little teapot.
Yeah.
We walk back, we get pizza with my dad, and you're like quiet in the car. And then you send me a text like, I'm sorry. And that always made me feel better because like, all right, he acknowledged it, right? Mm-hmm. But I just lost my train of thought. But basically,
just missing the meetings.
Just missing the meetings. And then I think you told me I think it might have been shortly after that. I think you said you relapsed. So I was like, okay, well, I know every time you said you were gonna miss. I'm like, you sure you didn't get high? It's like literally always my initial when you say on a Friday, and then I feel like I was so nonchalant about it because again, I just was like, all right, well, he'll tell me when he relapses, and then I'll deal with it then. Because what am I going to do now? I can't do anything.
What a hard way to live. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is now, but
yeah,
I think my just carefree attitude a little bit of just kind of like, what am I going to do? I can't control. I can't make you go.
You didn't leave me.
No, I didn't.
You could have done that.
Yeah, well, I got to my breaking point, and we're in a good spot now, so that's all that matters.
So, what does it look like today? 7 months sober. I feel like you trust me. I feel like you always get worried that it would be me that would end our marriage, and has that gotten better for you?
I mean,
you can be honest.
I don't know.
Like you think you always joke around like I'm working on this career change, like. We might want to try to open a gym down here. I just don't want you to leave me for one of the fucking whatever that we train down here.
Oh, yeah, that just is like you just dangling just temptation right in front of you, and you're a guy. And just you view things, guys are different.
Guys are different.
It's just we have these conversations on what you think. Like, you just say it. You have an instant thought when you see a hot chick.
Yes. Let's clarify this. Every single normal guy that sees a chick, as long as she's not a grandmom, the second thought is, or the split second thought is whether he would or wouldn't. And that's it. And
I'm okay with that now, though. I feel like I'm more secure, in that way.
It's not an obsession.
Yeah.
It's not let me go talk to her.
But there is some guys that are like that they fixate. I had this conversation.
There's some creeps.
Yeah. Because I talked to my brother about this.
Yeah.
And I remember, I was like, we're like kind of like all over the place. This is when I used to like go through your phone a little bit, like early on in our relationship. And there was a text, you had texted someone that you used to work with, and I actually remember who it was. And it said, oh my God, there's so many hot chicks at the Eagles game. And I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you, okay, I get it. You're going to look, whatever.
Yeah.
But why did you need to text someone about it?
Right.
And you probably obviously weren't sober at the time, so I always just feel like it was always a little escalated. Mm-hmm. And I remember being like, I was so mad. But I'm like, okay. I went to my brother and I said, I got to ask you a question. Be honest with me. And my brother was like, no, that's wrong.
It is wrong.
He agreed. So I was like, okay, I'm not being crazy. He's like, wrong. No. He's like, yeah, we're guys. We blah, 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 blah. But that, he was like, no. He's like, that's inappropriate.
It is inappropriate. And I think...
Because that's like me going to a bar and texting my girlfriends. Be like, dude, there's so many hot guys here.
Correct.
Like, what is the point? Okay, yeah, I can acknowledge that there's good-looking guys, but I could care less if there's a good-looking guy in the bar because I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
I understand, like, you guys are wired different, but to, like, actively, like, feel like you needed to text someone about something.
We're not going to name any names, but we know creeps in our lives. And it's easy for me to say this on a podcast in front of my wife, but the person I was before getting sober is definitely not the person I am today, and those things are wrong, and I don't do them.
Yeah,
it's just that simple. Like, to take it to the next level is not okay. Like, obviously, like if Matt and I were at work and this doesn't even happen, but if like a sales representative walked in,
I could care less.
Right. And like, Matt and I would probably, I know we would say like, damn, did you fucking see that girl? Like, but like, that's it.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't texting.
That's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. The step after that is a step that I would hover over for years. And that's not right. That's not right. And I don't do it. It's, you're my wife, we're married. There's no point.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, look, like you said, guys are guys, and I look at it. I think I probably stare at girls' bodies more than you do, and I feel like most women would probably say that.
Well, I will say this: like when I'm talking to someone at the gym, and a girl gets brought up, or guy talk starts to happen.
Yeah.
I actually don't like it anymore. I want to get out of the fucking conversation.
Because you're just picturing my head. It's like,
it's like,
don't do it.
I think because I have a conscience now, and it's like, it's not, it's not okay, and I don't want to be a fucking creep. And
But your body language always, me and my mom, anytime, like,
Yeah.
we just have known you for so long. Like,
well, I can't not engage.
Yeah, but
I
your
just try not
body
to-
language
yeah.
literally gives it all away. I always say to my mom, like, look at him over there.
Yeah.
He must be talking about something bad.
Yeah. But all in all, though, the 7 months of sobriety, I think, shows us that our marriage is built to last.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
High five.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, my best friend.
I mean, I'm in it.
well,
I'm in it.
But do you want to be in it?
I do.
There you go.
I'm a rider.
You are a rider. You are a rider. You know, yesterday on the beach, you're like, what are you thinking about? Or you asked me what I was thinking about. I'm like, I'm thinking all types of shit. I'm like, what are you thinking about? And you said, nothing. My mind is empty. And I'm like, how the fuck do you do that?
Dude, I actually don't even know why. Actually, at that moment, sometimes I might be like looking at a seagull, or I don't even know why.
Well-
but at that moment, my mind was literally blank, and I was so just relaxed
Yeah.
that like nothing was going through my mind at that moment. I really, truly was just enjoying, and I feel like you struggle with that. And my mom had said that to you, like,
Yeah.
be in the moment. Like, I think, was it yesterday? You were like, all right, I'm going to go to a meeting this time, then the gym, then we're going to do the podcast. I said, dude, chill. It's
Yeah.
11 o'clock
The day before.
the day before.
Yeah.
Why are we worried about what we're doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's just stay in today, you know? And I just, sometimes I think we don't realize how lucky we are to have what we have.
Yeah.
To be healthy. We
Yeah.
have 2 homes,
6 animals.
6 animals.
6. Like, so yeah, as far as before and afters, there's life before Barkley.
Yes.
And now there's life
Like,
after
I
Barkley.
know.
So this is kind of like a check-in for you and I, like, to show what sobriety looks like for us today, you know. But it's also, it's okay to not be so fucking serious all the time.
Yeah.
So we adopt this fucking dog, Barkley. He's a 65-pound DMX pit bull, and
He's so cute.
he's adorable.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
So the adoption agency the shelter made us have like 3 visits before they brought him to our house. Then they brought him to our house for the 4th visit. That went well. All these visits went well. Then the 5th visit, they dropped him off for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
That went well. And one thing they said to us was, don't make sure your face isn't next to his face. And we're like, what the fuck?
Don't pet him,
Don't
which
pet- yeah, like,
you did.
You can pet him if he comes up to you
Well, yeah,
and
he
wants
picked
to
you.
be pet.
Yeah.
So Frankie, our pit bull, is playing with Barkley, the dog we adopted, and it got a little aggressive. Not bad, but I think Frankie, like, she yelped, and Barkley ran away, ran right to me. His face was right next to my face, and I'm like, "We don't know this dog. We're trying to get to know him. Like, what the fuck is gonna happen?" And he just licks my face and my ear. And
Yeah, but you were pretty confident though. I was more scared because he was literally running to you,
It was
which
good.
I loved. Anyway, I didn't care that it was you. You know how I am. I
Yeah.
always want them all to love me more.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just was like, okay. And he's going with Aunt.
yeah.
I know he'll love me. Later
So-
down the line.
That visit went well. That was the 5th visit. Then the next week was Mother's Day weekend. We didn't take him. And then we took Barkley last weekend. If the weekend went well, we were going to keep him. So they dropped him off 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah, you pick him up.
Oh, we picked him up, 2 Saturdays ago. And it went great. The first week was at our house in Philly. It went better than we had expected. He was friendly. He was a little on alert with the cats. We can't let him be around the cats just yet. Maybe never, but we have a plan. We bought a gate. We're good. He was great. And then we take him down the shore. And I think we got down Friday night. Friday night he was good. Saturday, a few days ago, him and Frankie started playing. And I stood up from the couch and, I didn't yell loudly, but I basically told Frankie to chill the fuck out because Frankie kept pestering Barkley, the new dog, and Barkley fucking snaps. Fucking DMX Pitbull, growling, barking. I thought he was going to get me. Luckily, we gave him some treats, kind of cooled him down a little bit. We took a breath. We realized maybe we're doing a little too much. All right, good.
Yeah, I just think the change of coming down the shore.
This was all a
Yeah.
lot for him. This was all a lot for him. And then the next day, we go on my buddy's boat, right? Or no, we went to Cape May. We were gone for the whole day. We come back, we walk the dogs, and we figured we'll just let him hang out in the bed with us for a little bit. before we put him in the crate. He's going to sleep in the crate. He always sleeps in the crate. Similar situation. I get up, Frankie, chill out, and he's on the bed. I'm on the side of the bed in my boxers, and he snapped like a monster in a scary movie, and I was fucking scared to death. And
Yeah, I was scared.
yeah,
It was
well,
scary.
in my head prior to this, I thought to myself, well, if he snaps, I'll just fuck his ass up.
Yeah,
And
no.
I froze like a bitch, dude. I'd never seen a dog that scary in my entire adult life. So Megan gets the treats. He cools down, whatever. Dog gets in the cage. He snaps again. So he snaps 3 times. However, we realized we were doing a little too much. And we took a step back, a little bit more rules, a little more boundaries. And
Yeah, we went and got a gate.
we got a gate.
Need to decompress more.
Yeah.
He's in a different.
Yeah.
Look, he's been locked up for 2 years.
Yeah, the dog was. I mean, he did 14 years jail time in human years. I mean, he was in a jail, the shelter. Although they're trying to save dogs' lives for 2 years.
Yeah, they do an amazing job there.
Yeah, and prior to that, they found him tied to a pole. So the dog's institutionalized. We're trying to help him, and the reason why I say all this stuff is because like we would have never adopted Barkley if I wasn't sober. We're able to do so many things together as a family because we're sober, and we're gonna figure this shit out together. And has nothing to do with like the day before rehab, but it has everything to do with the day before rehab because these are the things that we can do as a family together. And I love the dog. It's been great the
he's
past
the
couple
best.
days. We got some boundaries, and that's it. Keep it moving.
I know he's like the best ever.
Yeah.
Just cute face,
Well,
so lovey, and he's a Velcro dog.
he is a Velcro dog, but because I fucked up my marriage for so long, I'm more forgiving of the situation, and I knew this was a bad idea getting this fucking damn ex pit bull, but I felt like I owed it to you to try, and we're making it work. And my sponsor's like, you're a fucking idiot, sober or not, fucked up your marriage or not. Like, if you thought it was a bad idea, you should have said it was a bad idea. But we're in it now.
But you did though a little bit. You're like,
I voiced my concerns, but then I would flip because
you flip flop.
because I don't want the dog to die. I
Yeah.
don't want him to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it doesn't work out with us, they're going to put him down. Like, it's inevitable. But I was thinking,
He's thriving.
he's doing great. He is. He's
Licks. Finally got a tail wag.
finally got a tail wag.
So excited to see us when we come home.
Yeah, he walks with me in the morning. I take him to the bay. We sit on the bench.
What does he do? Jumps right on the bench every
He
morning with
knows
you.
which bench we're going to, so it's good. It's good. But I was thinking. I heard at a meeting the other day somebody was talking about being lonely, and I kind of wanted to get your take on it because you're such a different person than me. Like, you're just so much more mentally tough than me than I might ever be. And guy was talking about being lonely in sobriety, and I thought to myself, when you're lonely and you're drinking and getting high, you just drink and get high so you don't feel lonely, or you don't give a fuck that you're lonely. And now when you're sober and you get lonely, it's bad. I get lonely. We don't even talk about it. I get lonely in a crowded room, and I'm like, I'm working it out in my head, and I'm like, why do I feel this way? I just sometimes like I just feel so alone, and I don't know why. Like, we're sitting on the beach yesterday, and yesterday was great, and I'm like, I changed the way I was praying, and my therapist is like, I no one ever in my life has called me codependent before, and he's like, you're codependent on external factors that you think determine success. And it's so crippling to me sometimes, the image that I think my life should be, or the perception I think my life should have, and I get sad for no reason.
That's so sad.
It's terrible.
That's sad.
It's like, that's why we did the gratitude list yesterday. Like, and I changed the way I pray. I pray for the willingness, like I said, to stay in sobriety and AA, pray for the discipline to get through the dark times. And I pray for God to break me away from the codependence on external factors that I make up in my head that define success. And I also pray that Barkley doesn't eat me. So that's a fact. I pray for that. I say the 3rd step prayer. I say the serenity prayer. I read a bunch of stuff. And I think it's just a work in progress. like we said, it's just it's a process. It's a process, and But as I'm sitting here with you today, this is my 9th week of my 2nd quarter back at graduate school. All my assignments are done for this week. I got a couple things to do next week, and then I'm finish 2 quarters sober. 3rd quarter will start in a few weeks, and I say this because I just got to be able to stay in the moment and enjoy my life with my wife, my family, and sometimes it's so hard.
I know it is. It's like you venture off in La La Land a lot when we're together.
Yeah.
And, bringing up my mom again, but we were all to dinner and you had gone to the bathroom. My mom was like, "What's wrong with Anthony?" I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "There's something wrong." I said, "No, there's not." I'm like, "It's just Anthony being Anthony."
Yeah.
And I guess I just am so used to you, kind of you shut down.
Yeah.
I don't think you, in your mind, you want to shut down. I just think it's written all over you. And I had said to you, "What's wrong?" You're like, "No, I'm fine." Then you snapped out of it. And then me and my mom, me and my mom had a few drinks. And you're like, "Oh, man, I'm going to be here for another hour." And I was like, "Oh, shit. Well, now you're you're ruining our party. I just want my mom to enjoy herself." And the next day, we had taken a walk in the morning, just you and I. And you had shut down a little bit. Even look, I was like, "What's wrong?" And you were like, "I don't know. I'm just having a hard time." And you had brought up the people at the restaurant having money and being rich. And you had made a comment, I forget what the comment was, about rich people. So I was like, "Oh shit, was I talking?"
No.
There were people next to us that just smelled like money. They just literally were like.
We stick out like sore thumbs down here.
Well, I don't care though.
I know.
Because I have a place down here too. Whether
it's fucking bullshit.
Small pennies to someone who owns a couple $1 million house, I really don't care. I don't care. Okay, they are successful in a different way. Like my success, we were able to purchase this, and we did 2 homes very close together, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And somewhere you need to accept that. Maybe one day, maybe you. I don't know, change careers, or you work your way up in the ladder in construction, whichever it is. Mm-hmm. You just need to be okay with maybe not having as much money as the person next to us. I could give a shit. Who knows? How about this? They could have all the money in the world. Mm-hmm. They could wipe money with their asses with their money.
Yeah.
Do you think they're happy?
I don't know.
They might not be happy. Does having money obviously make things a lot easier? Sure. But their problems might be worse than our problems.
I think a lot of it stems from the fact that I wasted so much time drinking and getting high, and even though
yeah, but who cares?
I know, and I'm working on it. I talked to my therapist about what happened at dinner, and that's when he talked to me about my codependence on external factors that in my head define success. And I'm working out of it. Like we talked yesterday about the gratitude list. We're healthy. We're in shape. We have good family. We have a place down the shore. We have all these wonderful things, and sobriety, and you didn't leave me.
No, and you did it at another time we were at dinner. You're like, "Whoa," made the comment the one time we had come home from dinner the one night.
Oh yeah.
I just was like, that's literally what was going through your mind at dinner.
Yeah.
How is that even a thought? I'm like, who even cares?
Yeah.
I could care less if I was the poorest one at the table. That doesn't matter to me.
It is bullshit. It is ego-driven nonsense, and
But it's not ego in a bad way, though.
Well, it's not
like people could have a high ego and be dickheads.
I'm not envious. I'm not jealous. I'm obviously willing to put the work in whatever direction I feel like is going to be the most beneficial for our family, for our lives. It's sometimes I'm just so hard on myself, and so I want to read this to you. This is AA is fucking nuts. Sometimes things get read or said in a meeting, and it's it's go figure. It's a group of alcoholics. It's exactly what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So this was the topic was inadequacy, and this book calls As Bill Sees It. Bill W. is the founder of AA, him and Dr. Bob, this guy Dr. Bob. So this thing called, it was just one page. It was Victory in Defeat, right? So convinced I never could belong and vowing I'd never settle for any second-rate status, I felt I simply had to dominate in everything I chose to do, work or play. That's my head, right?
Yeah.
you know, the gym, the job, like everything. It's like I feel like I have to dominate everything, and like it's not reality, obviously. As this attractive formula for the good life began to succeed, according to my then specifications of success, I became deliriously happy. But when an undertaking occasionally did fail, I was filled with resentment and depression that could be cured only by the next triumph. Now think about that. You know, when I work towards something, I put everything in me into that something, and if I fail, it's fucking bad for me. And I'm like, this is communication, connecting with people is helping me get through these things. But I'm reading this, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's me. Very early, therefore, I came to value everything in terms of victory or defeat, all or nothing, which you always say to me. It's all or nothing with you. The only satisfaction I knew was to win. Only through utter defeat are we able to take our first steps towards liberation and strength. Our admissions of personal powerlessness finally turn out to be firm bedrock upon which happy and purposeful lives may be built. And I'm thinking about this as I'm reading it. I took a picture of it.
I like that. I think you're gonna read that every day.
Yeah, because I need to like read things like this to like remind myself that you're not unique. They're like whoever wrote this felt this all or nothing mentality, felt like everything had to be victory, and if it wasn't 100% victory, it was defeat, and that's not reality. It's a struggle. It's a fucking struggle. How do you fucking do it? Like you're like, we joke around all the time. Like if I ever described you to someone else, say my wife's the simplest person on the planet, and then I'll follow it up by, and I mean that as a total compliment. Like you're just point A to point B. Like if I have to do 7 people today, well, then I gotta fucking suffer and do 7 people today.
Yeah, it just is what it is. I don't know. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't need a lot in life, I guess, to make me happy. As long as I've always been pretty simple. I think as my parents are simple.
Yeah.
Like my dad doesn't need a lot. My brother Dylan could probably live in the woods in a little shack, and all he needed was a computer and his son. And
so yeah, you're like, how do you do it? How do you get through some of these issues that I face for yourself? Like I struggle with the downtime. I struggle with the loneliness. I struggle with the factors that in my head are make believe that determine success. Like,
because as long as I'm making money every week, as long as I have a busy week, I feel successful. I feel like as long as I love everything I do to my clients, I'm like, wow, that was such a great day. I loved how our hair turned out. Like, that turned out so good. Like, that is all I need. The gym, as long as I go to the gym, I walk my dogs, I have some downtime, watch some TV, I'll get up, I'll clean. I don't know. I don't need a lot, and I don't need a lot to feel successful. Like, I am successful.
You are.
I don't need much more than just that. And even, I'd say before I was as busy as I am now, which I'm super grateful for, I never thought I was not successful then either. I always just thought, okay, I wasn't making that much money where I worked, and I probably couldn't support myself on my own. So I got a second job. This was a job, I made minimum wage at 26 years old, but I picked up shifts when I could, and I stayed there until I didn't need it anymore. And that was kind of like, that money there helped me take a vacation with my friends or whatever it was. And then I saved, I saved because I lived in my parents' house. So overall, like, I don't know, I could live in a small little bungalow and be okay.
So the one difference in all that is you're the boss.
Yeah.
You're the boss. You have no boss. You are the boss.
Yeah, but
You're the boss.
I am the boss, but I work really, really hard.
You're the boss, though.
And when I worked at a salon, I definitely didn't work as hard as I do now.
Well, you're the boss. You control your own destiny. You're the fucking boss.
I know, but I hate when people say that because
But
like, it's so nice if I make your own hours. I'm like, actually, no, I work way harder.
Yeah.
My hours are way more, like they're
Right.
so much longer because I am the boss and
You are the boss.
and I need to make money.
You ever see? No, I won't bring it up. Because there's a line in Casino, the movie Casino.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah, Robert De Niro
Yeah.
is he's the boss basically of the casino, but he has the higher ups that are the real bosses, like the mob bosses, and he's getting interviewed by a reporter, And she says, you know, when so and so is not around, you know, you're in charge of the day to day. So basically, you're the boss. And he's like, well, you're right. I am in charge of the day to day operations. So you're the boss. She says, well, I guess you could say I'm the boss. And then that was the headline on the paper that the mob bosses saw, was that Robert De Niro said, I'm the boss.
Oh shit.
But anyway, I think that's one of my biggest fucking problems is, let's talk about it, right? Like, we just found out a guy from work got laid off yesterday. Our company is having a tough year because of a variety of different reasons. And when I heard this guy got laid off, I'm like, oh fuck. Like, am I gonna get laid off? You know, that's what I'm worrying about. Like, am I gonna get laid off? And like, there's a thing in AA, like job or no job, wife or no wife, family or no family. You stay sober under any and all conditions. And I think that I would. However, I want to fucking put myself and my family in a situation where there is no one that can lay me off. I'm unlayoffable because I'm the fucking boss. Like, I want to create something that's mine. And like fucking school and work and experiences and creating leadership development programs and doing all this thing. And, you know, I just found out there's a whole world of networking possibilities at Drexel. Like, I want to put myself in a position where, you know, like, I don't have to ever worry about getting laid off. Like, I want to control my own destiny. And I think that's the fucking American dream. Like, that's what's important to me. Sobriety above all is important. Put myself and my family in a situation where no one can hurt us. And I get it.
You have way more headaches though.
I don't
when
give
you're the boss.
but
you don't care now, but people that do start out companies, and it's way harder than I think people think it is. And I think people who start companies, start businesses, I think they deserve a lot more credit.
Well, you're right.
I mean, they deserve everything that they get if they're successful.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but I think it comes with some bad too.
Be careful what you wish for type shit.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure. It's like so much less stress. You have so much more on your plate when you're like, I'm small. Like you say, oh, I'm your boss. Like, I would never want to open a salon and have employees.
I'm okay with being
sounds
small.
Terrible to me.
We talked about it. I'm okay with being small.
Terrible, because I wouldn't want the stress of bringing in money, doing this, we're not making enough, being mean and reprimanding people, and I wouldn't be a good boss.
Right. Well, you know, like, it's not that I want to be the boss because I want to tell people what to do. You know, it's just a simple way of saying I want to control my own destiny. You know, like, the project that I just did with Matt went really well. You know, we had a couple hurdles, but we did a good job.
You did great.
We did a really good job, and we just had a meeting the other day, and, you know, thank God I'm sober, because at the end of the meeting I was able to say something like, you know, I was able to like really put something out there articulately to my bosses and everyone on the team on how grateful we were for this experience, this opportunity, and what we thought was important on the project. And, you know, I know this isn't a position where you learn from your mistakes, because mistakes cost money. However, the mistakes that we did make on this project, I guaranteed we wouldn't make them again, right? So, like, but it's like, I still have like 7 bosses, you know, like, my fate is not in my hands, you know, like.
Yeah, but you do a really good job, and you're really good at what you do.
Right.
And you want to be good at what you do. Like, I can't say many people, I think people that are in union carpenters or whatever it is might think, oh yeah, well, I want to be a foreman, and then I want to be a superintendent or assistant super. But like, do they actually do things to make it to the next step? Like, you were, when we first started dating and you were back, like, newly back in the union, you actively were going to your grandpa's house. I mean, at least you told me you're going to your grandpa's house. And he was teaching you how to read blueprints.
He was teaching me like this,
right?
Basically the sequence of operations in construction.
And you took classes.
Yep.
Like, you actually care and want to be good at your job. And don't just be like, okay, well, you maybe know someone that gets you to be a foreman, right? Mm-hmm. And then you like half-ass, like, not say half-ass, but like, don't really know what you're doing being a foreman, but you actually did things to learn what it takes.
No, you're right.
To do your job.
You're right.
And you've done that with everything.
It's a combination of perfect amount being able to bullshit, perfect amount drive, perfect amount of actually knowing what's going on, and then putting it all together.
Well, I think you have a good mixture of it all. I think you have a good personality. You can talk to guys. Mm-hmm. You can talk shit, but still be a boss. Essentially, you are a boss on the job, right?
Yeah.
Just that you have someone above you that's giving you the job.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Well, like I'll be the first to admit I'm fucking nuts. I struggle with my crazy brain daily, and the only thing that helps me manage it is just by staying disciplined and making my meetings and going to the gym and packing my day with all this shit. And I just know for me, it's like, you know, I want to put myself in a position to do something that I feel makes a difference. And, you know, my one class is a leadership development class. My other class is a finance class. And, you know, and like the leadership development's great because it's 10 weeks, 10 different chapters, 10 different lists of articles we have to read.
Let's pause. Just check Frankie.
Why?
I just want to make sure she's not something bad.
So my point was, I'm trying to tie everything that I'm learning in leadership development, I'm trying to tie that into my personal experience with sobriety and create something that I think will help people. So like it's fun to joke around like, yeah, I want to be the boss, I want to be in charge, but like that's not what I mean specifically. I mean, I want to put myself in a position to combine my life, my education, my current career to my new career and make a positive impact on people's lives. And like, you know, and I think I stress myself out about it because I think sometimes I think like, who the fuck do you even think you are, dude? How could you even think you could do this? You know, so I told you the other day, like I got really fucking vulnerable. I had a meeting with a couple different people about organization development, and the second lady was great. So I sent her my 2 presentations that I made for leadership development. One's on your mindset, one's on goal setting, but obviously it has the DBR logo on the presentation, and the whole, like the genesis of the presentation is from sobriety. So like I sent her a long note, take a look at my presentations. It's time to get a little vulnerable. I told her, you know, I didn't just give her a brief.
Yeah, she doesn't need. Yeah.
Yeah, I just gave her a brief, like, synopsis, if you will, of, you know, this is all stemming from my sobriety and my recovery. And, like, she was great. She sent me a nice email back. We're going to have a meeting at the vacation. And, you know, I'm kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but, like, tying everything together and putting all the pieces together may never happen. It might not even be a real thing. You know what I mean? And, like, I just stress myself out about it.
And who cares if it doesn't?
I agree to some extent.
If you did all this and weren't trying, and say you try and it's maybe not something you thought you'd like.
I also think about that.
And it is what it is. You gave it a shot. You've done it before. Mm-hmm. You've been interested in things, and you've been like, it's not for me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like at least you're like willing to learn and do other things, like other options.
Well, that's why I'm so.
It's not You're not a failure if you decide, I don't know, this isn't the way I really want to go.
Well, you're right, and that reading is important because ultimate failure and getting through that is what defines a person. And I think about that. You know, what if I do all these things and realize I don't like it? Well, then, okay. So now I realize I don't like leadership development, but now I have 10 years construction management experience, and now I have an MBA. So there's got to be something.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of like, maybe you might laugh because this might not even be a good, like example. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go run 50 miles in a month, right? This is my goal. I'm going to go out. I want to run 50 miles. Maybe not 50 miles straight, but, you know, have your breaks, however those ultra marathoners do it. Mm-hmm. And you barely train for it, and you don't finish, right? Well, you only can blame yourself for not training and doing the things you needed to do the race, right? Mm-hmm. But if you train your ass off, do everything you're supposed to do, and you try to run the 50 and don't, then I would be like more upset at myself because I did everything that I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, you're going to school, you're doing your schoolwork, you're doing really good in classes, and, you know, say you go for it and it doesn't work out. But at least you tried. You did all the things that you needed to do.
Well, it's funny you just said that because in one of the articles we had to read, I'll try to paraphrase it. It was something along the lines like, there's no worse mistake a person can make than plan for a career change but not be prepared.
Yeah.
but not be prepared. Thinking you're ready when you haven't done all the things to make you ready.
I should be in the school books now.
You should
I
be
sound
in the
smart for a
school-
second.
You should be in the school books. You should be in the school books. So I hang my hat onto that. Like, all right, like, I'll just
You will be
I'll keep
prepared.
preparing. I'll
Yeah,
just keep preparing.
you will.
You know what I mean? To have your undergrad degree, to get your MBA, to maintain your position as a construction manager, is preparing.
Yeah.
Is preparing.
It's like saying I want to be a millionaire but doing nothing that it takes to try to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
So let's touch on that for a second. So Gonzo,
I do.
So I obviously he knows I love him to death. He said, if I wanted to be a millionaire, I could. Now I don't know that any millionaires listen to the podcast, but if a millionaire did listen to the podcast, and I would imagine if they heard someone say, "If I wanted to be a millionaire, I could," they'd be like, "Nah." That's not how
I
this shit
think if
works.
anyone wanted to be a millionaire, they'd be a millionaire,
Yeah,
right? I
like,
mean, why wouldn't you want to be a millionaire?
Let's think, we want to be millionaires,
Yeah.
but are we?
No. Will we ever be? Probably not.
Probably not. It's probably not. Probably not.
I know. It's like, it is hard though, because you do look around and we are in a really rich beach town, I'd say.
Yeah.
And, when we go out, we were on Gonzo's pontoon and it's really, really nice.
It's awesome.
And we're driving around and we're like, oh, how much is that boat cost? Like, this boat looks like a shitty dinky boat.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't even know what boats go for. I'm like, 20,000. He's like, dude, try like 60.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? And it's like the motor on the back. It has 2 motors on the back. Like,
Yeah.
it's just as like wild to see like how many people have these things and see, and even that, like last weekend, we saw all these young, like maybe 20, 21, 22, like I'd say young,
Yeah.
driving around on having these boats and jet skis. And I said to you, like, were kids like this when we were growing up and we just didn't know?
We
And
hung
it's
out with all fucking middle class blue collar people.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think we still were like pre-gaming before we went to the bar because we were broke, like if I made $200 in a week, I thought I was good. And kids down here don't know anything else but to have the luxuries.
Well, and, we're assuming that as well.
I mean, come on. I mean, how can I not assume? I mean, girls sitting outside of Starbucks on a Wednesday, going to the beach, getting in a Mercedes. Well, I mean, unless I'm missing something. I don't know if they're like a TikTok star or Instagram something.
Maybe they worked their ass off.
At 21, I don't know. I mean, that just seems awful young. Like
don't know.
20, no freaking way. You're right out of high school. Mm-hmm. You graduate college at 21?
Yeah, well, you could.
You could, right?
Yeah. 21,
You
22.
ain't making that money right out of college.
Right.
That's mommy and daddy's money. I'm sorry.
I did. When I graduated high school, my parents, they were divorced. They just gave me $500. I was like, yes, dude, $1,000.
Dude, I had $700 for my graduation party when I was 17 when I graduated high school. And my mom and dad told me, you've got a shore house. I'm not giving you $1, nothing. I made that $700 last week the whole entire summer. Hell, these kids can't do that now.
Well, I went a different direction. They gave me $1,000. I bought 100 e-pills. I sold e-pills until I got locked up. And then, and then luckily for me, by the time I got locked up, something was about to be over.
Dude, me and Autumn were folding the guy's laundry that lived 2 floors above us for money. Like, so broke, just made it work. Like, maybe I ate that day. I'm not even quite sure, but I know we had enough money to drink.
Yeah.
Or we buy a bottle of Burnett's. Or I can't think of the other one. It was like $10 for the bottle. And I would get like this lemon flavor, which is ugh. And we'd make that last a few days.
Right.
And that's all I would have, where I get a Wawa sale. That would be half. And I had the other half tomorrow. I made $700 last in 3 months.
Made it work.
I made it work.
Made it work.
Now you come down the shore and it's like I freaking buy 2 bananas. It's $2.
I know. We're like, can we please each try to only spend $500 this week?
I know.
Like,
It's so hard. Everything's just so much
dude.
money.
I'm like, whatever. It's fucking tough, but privilege problems.
Yeah.
So I want to finish up and like this was great to check in because it's been a couple months at least since we've done
Yeah,
one.
yeah. You've just been doing them on your own.
Yeah.
Solo.
Solo. I know. Without my partner. What a loser.
I know. Well, I want to do one with my sister and just be me and my sister. But I know you have
can?
to. Yeah. No, I feel like you are more like the glue.
The glue. There you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of the glue, my uncle told me years ago that sex is the glue that keeps relationships together. So I want to thank you for last night.
You're fresh.
You're fresh. But
My mom listens to this.
but seriously, you know, I am grateful that I'm sitting here with you on vacation, not lying about being sober, not waiting for you to get a coffee to go down the street and get something. You know, like staying in the day is a challenge for me at 7 months sober, but you know, we're working on it. But being able to be present and try my best in sobriety is different.
Yeah.
That's what I've wanted for so long. Peace of mind comes and goes. Just like happiness. You know, what the fuck is happiness? You know what I mean? I don't even know what that is. I'm just grateful. I'm not getting high today. I'm not trying to get high. I'm not lying about getting high. I'm just grateful.
Yeah. One more story. When last year we had gone out to, I think we were downtown when we went to dinner. We rented a hotel, like just to spend the time down there.
Yeah.
And that's so funny you said about the coffee. I said, you want to, you know, we were like in a not so great place. And I'm like, oh, just come with me to get coffee. Like, nah, I don't want to. I just want to lay here. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, just come. You always want to come. Like, nah. I'm like, all right, well, I'll bring Frankie. And I knew you were being weird. And I'm like, you know what? Something's just not right. I drove around our block and I saw you take it off down the street. Remember, I was like, where are you going? You gotta get gas. And I said, you think get gas now? You said you wanted to lay there. That just reminded me of like, I caught you. I think it was the only time I actually caught you. Maybe like sneaking off, getting something when.
Yeah, so thank God we're not doing that today.
And that's really funny, actually, thinking about it. I saw you, I'm like,
sad.
I was like, dialing my phone, like, where are you going?
Well, it's sad because like I don't eat like whatever. It's sad because it's fucking painful.
Yeah.
It's painful. Like what sobriety has given me this time. Let's think about it. Like not to recap everything we've done, but you know, we did the January running goal, we did the ski goal, and then I decided to work out every fucking day for the rest of my life. Well,
crazy.
Didn't work out, but it was close.
I know, but I last like 20 days maybe. I'm like, dude, this is so dumb.
Well, I worked out every single day from the last weekend in March to the day after Labor Day. I was fucking hurting after Murph, and I took the day off after that as well. But I felt really accomplished. Like I worked out 60 days in a row at least, and you know, smart recovery. Like I did there's been a handful of 2-mile runs in there, a handful of 30-minute bike rides, but something active, something to cause a sweat every single
abs?
day. Yeah. It's fucking sobriety gave me abs.
Sobriety did give you
fucking
abs.
Crazy.
8 years, and you always talked about that one picture in that one competition where you had abs. That was it. I'm like, dude, that was like, you were 28.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm like, you're 41 now.
Yeah.
Out of 8 years, this is the first time I've seen you with abs.
Right.
So be proud of that.
Well, you know, why I'm sober today is because I've been doing all the same things over and over again, and you know, for people that struggled like I struggled, it was the first thing that would slip is the meetings, and then my behaviors, and you know, with my attitude, and you know, then I would stop working out as much, and then I would start fights, and then when I feel like a overwhelming feeling of either happiness or sadness, I would take off and get a drink or a drug, and but doing the same things every single day. Drinking is insanity, right? Doing the same things every single day to stay sober is a totally different thing. And, you know, I thank you for riding it out with me. You know, you're my beautiful wife.
Always.
You know, living amends, we talked about it, you know, with what my dad did for us. And, you know, you give me the opportunity to do that. Your mom has given me the opportunity. My pain in the ass daughter has given me the opportunity to do that.
Love you, Jay.
Love you, Jay. We'll get her on here one day. We just gotta put some boundaries up so she doesn't crucify me.
Torch you on here?
Yeah, she might torch
She'll
me.
let you on fire.
She might. 21-year-old daughter in 2024 with a fucking jerk off dad like me. Yeah. But you know, everything's beautiful. We're gonna have a great dinner tonight, and sobriety, routine, meetings, sponsors. You know, just being plugged in. I got my first commitment last month at a meeting. I was so proud of that.
What's that?
When you go to a meeting and you chair the meeting for the whole month.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that, but I didn't. I just thought you wanted to do that. That's cool that they like pick you or something.
No, you have to go to what they call a business meeting. So it's the meeting after They do it once a month. There's a business meeting after one of the meetings, and you go there and they go over that next month's meeting list and people who want to take the commitment, right? So like,
Wow, I'm proud of you.
yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. So, the next time I can make it to a business meeting, they're Thursday night. They're the last Thursday of the month. I'll do it again.
I love that.
It was great. It was great, and I was nervous. Like,
And you're gonna go. I know we're like rambling here, but I know you're gonna. The end of June, you want to go back up to.
oh yeah, I'm excited.
Karen?
Yeah, I think that June 30th. I think is the last Sunday in June. I want to go back to Karen Treatment Center.
Then we'll run your little loop
Well, we can do that, but I want to do the loop on a year.
on the year. Okay,
on
then
the
you
year.
wait for the year then.
I want to wait for the year. I want to run up the mountain on the year because
I'm gonna cry.
that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That mountain, that was great, man.
Well, I feel like that was probably my. Like, I want to cry. When you would call me when you were away, and hearing happiness in your voice, just how you would say, "Oh, you love hearing happiness in my voice," right? When we were like in a good spot, hearing you happy and clear-minded, it's like crazy, because you were the person like who how you're who you're supposed to be, and hearing you like that was probably my favorite thing about you being away in rehab. Was just hearing clarity in your voice and just being positive and just loving. And it was a while since you had been like that, and I feel like that's what gives me hope. Like hearing that and hearing your voice like that when you were away was. I don't know if I ever told you that, but you just running the mountain. You'd call me before, or you would call me after, and just hearing just the happiness in your voice, was
Yeah. I would run up the mountain, and I'm no fucking runner, as we know. And I would say, because you don't have headphones, so I would say over, and I mean over and over and over again, the obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. And I would say it on repeat, like 90% of the time. Like, I am going to take this fucking rehab and this relapse, and I'm going to change my whole fucking life. I will never fucking be back here again. I will never let that shit take control of me again. It ruined my fucking marriage, my relationship with my daughter. I couldn't even fucking stay sober. The whole time my dad was sick, I got sober for like a week and fucking half, for like a wedding. Like, it took everything from me, dude. It took my relationship with my nephews. And I just kept thinking the obstacle is the fucking way, man. I love you.
love you.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. High five.
Boom.
I guess I want to end it this way.
Love you, bro.
Yeah.
We love you, man.
I love all of you.
We love you, daughter.
I love you too.
Wow, that was nice.
And I tell you what.